All right, welcome back. I've got another one for you tonight. And this is on LinkedIn, better known as LinkedIn. This is Chris Heatherly, which I am following, which usually means that he posted something cool at one point. This is by no means a ditch at Chris, nor a ditch at Mr. Sachs here. They just threw out content that I am going to talk about. All right, so Chris Heatherly said, I was reliably told AI was eliminating dev jobs. Turns out it's creating them. Could this happen for other types of work? Now, this is an interesting hypothesis. And if we look at David Sachs here, narrative violation, job postings for software engineers are rapidly rising. And we got this little group here to show up that it's skyrocketing up again. Is it at peak levels? No. And we do see it take kind of a flat here, but it's going up. That's great. And I hope, being an underemployed person right now, that this would land me somewhere. So I got skin in the game on this one. But as this person writes, to be honest, I think this is a bump, not a vector that will hold. So we have hypothesis supported by data, counter hypothesis not really supported by data though. But let's see what the logic is here. Yeah, AI didn't really kill jobs last year, but it promised to. So there was a lot of companies not hiring, waiting. Now this I actually agree with because, as I said on a previous YouTube channel, that what was really going on is a lot of companies were taking their first stab at RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and working out the kinks. And a lot of those first generation systems were really hyped and didn't really pan out to be anything too transformational. The models were good, but not that great where they could write software for you. And then right around November, the things flipped, but we'll leave that aside for now. Anyway, everybody was kind of wait and see, and there were job losses, but a lot of these were like, we spent all this money on AI, so we got to blame it. It didn't really pan out, but we've got to make the bottom line look better. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay off people anyway, and maybe in groups that were underperforming or wherever. But I really do not think, and I do like this post, I don't have the data to back it up, but I think that was the case. But then November hit where something flipped. The models like Claude Opus 4.5, which is now in 4.6, got really, really good. And am I recording this? This would be a bummer if I'm not recording. I am good. I just want to double check. But anyway, they got really, really good to the point where internally at OpenAI and at Claude, their models are writing, in some cases they claim 100% of their software. Now, does this mean your average IT shop could just jump in and write 100% of its software autonomously? I don't know. I think that a lot of what's going on in these frontier AI labs is A, they have access to the latest and greatest, B, they have a really good understanding of how everything works, and C, they've been trying this for a long time. It's in their interest to get it to 100% autonomous because then they can sell it all over the place. So there's a lot of hard fought one ways they can steer the models through their MD files and all that good stuff to get to that 100% or close to 100% output. Where someone just kind of trying it in the beginning probably couldn't get it there, but could get really far along. Last year didn't quite live up to the hype, so now we're hiring is happening. So that to me explains the dip. It's like everybody's kind of holding here. Is this AI stuff going to actually do anything? The pressure with work keeps building and building, and then it's like, okay, we got to get some people in, hopefully with AI experience, but we got to get some people in now. So let's start hiring. All right. So that's what I'm proposing is this spike. But I don't think it's going to go like this. I think it's going to go like that. if you can see my mouse here. It'll kind of bell curve down. And let's read on. This will be a window, I think. And then the AI for real will start replacing dev jobs at scale starting towards mid to end of this year, but more slow rolling than people think. Now, I've talked about this before, again on my other channel, where I said, initially I kind of looked at how good the models were with like Cloud Code and stuff, and it's like, oh man, it's game on. We're all going to be slaughtered here. But and then I kind of thought about it, just the inertia of how everything is. The people that are predicting the 12 to 18 month window when all white collar jobs, starting with software developers, are going away are people that are looking at the absolute bleeding edge of technology. And in my other videos, I argued there's a lot of reasons, some technical, a lot non-technical, why it will take a lot longer than 12 to 18 months for this to happen. I'm thinking more like 5 years to 10 years. But I don't think, as this post says, the window will then close and it will be a slow bleed that turns into a solid leak in the near future of dev jobs disappearing. Beyond that, software engineers won't disappear, but there will be less and less of them. I think this will be the case with all white collar work. This 12 to 18 month prediction of all white collar jobs gone, with software engineering jobs being gone first, I think is way off. I think with software engineering, I think it's going to be closer to that 18-month than other white collar stuff, but I think everything's going to be affected. It's just, as a person, you're just going to be able to do, excuse me for a sec, a lot more work. And if you're doing a lot more work, you're going to get a lot more work. That's going to be your reward. And the people that aren't doing a lot of work, if there's any sort of cuts or anything, they're going to get it. So you'll have people that are going to hyperscale with AI that are still going to be employed and really good at their job. And those of us middlings or people that just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, didn't position themselves right, are going to become roadkill on the information superhighway here as far as jobs go. Rambling on here, blah, 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 blah. Just the predictions are way more immediate than they will actually play out. Grokknors will glom onto the above graph and say, see, AI isn't going to take all our jobs. It is just hype. This is the worst thing you can do right here. Now, you can say it's all hype, but if you're not actively experimenting with AI, LLMs, if you're in a white collar job or if you're in software development, I really think you're weakening your position as far as being employable. Now, that doesn't mean you necessarily will be unemployed, but just from what I'm seeing, this is an absolute must. And even software developers, the amount of software developers, as we will see, according to some of the leading people we're hiring, they're not even getting it either, which just blows my mind. This guy, Mikhail Larenov, who I don't know, answers back to this post. I think a lot of the conservatism in engineering hiring stems from the role changing insanely fast. Yeah, you're going from software engineer to orchestrator of agents and project management. I saw a great meme. I wish I would have found it of all these developers crying that they're going to become project managers because there's tension between the two groups, to say the least. Founders and management get that the profile needs to shift. They get sometimes they are just hype cycle Kool-Aid drinkers, but in this case, I think it's real. But the talent pool is lagging hard. Here it is. Here's your differentiator. So the talent pool is lagging hard, adopting late-stage agentic AI methodologies. And then he goes on to say the efficiency gap isn't 3 to 5x now, it's closer to 20x and widening. So, wow. So, if you're in a spot now, here, where you don't have a job or are underemployed, like say myself, you need, this is your window to get in. This is your window to do something if you want to be hired somewhere. You absolutely must master agentic technologies along with other software core competencies, software engineering core competencies, so you can actually understand what models are spitting out and, understand it enough to where if it's off the rails, you can put it back on the rails because this is going to curve out. And then when it curves out, um, you're going to lose a job and you go, oh, I'm a competent software engineer. I can just build my own thing. But guess what? There's going to be hundreds of thousands of other competent engineers who can build things too, and they're all going to be coming for you. They're all going to be building stuff. In fact, I think the problem is going to be we're going to have too many people building. We already see that. We see a lot of younger engineers, potential engineers and developers that are vibe coding. And I'll just say it, probably in their mom's basement or their trust fund kids or whatever, because they apparently don't have to eat while they're doing all this. And they're creating all these apps. You see them on X and everything, bragging about all the apps that they're all creating. But yet, I'm still using LinkedIn. I'm still using Facebook. I'm still using YouTube. Nothing's really replacing my day-to-day stuff. So it's almost like crypto, and I hate to say this, I'll get some hate on this, but that's fine. Post your hate. It's like rich kids trading crypto coins with everybody. And now we're gonna have rich kids vibe coding stuff and trading apps with everybody. Um, and I'm just being whatever I am. But yeah, I would say this is your window here. This is your window if you want to do something on your own, like I'm trying to do. Um, you've got this window because once it curves down and starts dipping again, more and more decent engineers, a lot of them knowing some AI, are going to be trying to compete with you, doing their own thing. Or if you want to get hired into a corporate top top 500 corporate position, company position, you're going to have a real thick value proposition where you're in the top 5% of talent and you've got strong AI agentic skills. Everybody else is going to be out, and that's kind of what this guy says down here. I think it's only a matter of time before the late adopters go all in. They don't really have another option. I would agree. And if you would like help with that, please feel free to contact me. I do advanced RAG, I do web development, I do app vibe coding from my version of the basement. And I would be happy to help you out. Um, but anyway, yeah, this is your window right here, next 6 months. After that, it used to be learn to code. I'm going to say learn to hoe, learn to pick, learn to plumb, because you got about 10 or 15 years out for that. Anyway, I wish you a good evening. Thanks for listening to my rant.